just having a conversation with the Lord. All right, my people of faith, let's take another walk. Just having conversations about illusions and what's reality versus what's not really true. You have a dream or you go to sleep and your soul is outside of the body. You're in another dimension. Yet you're experiencing a lot of the things that you are experiencing in the reality of the natural. It goes like this. Being in the body is like you're subject to the realm of fear. And the object is to get out of the realm of fear. This is why Jesus is what Jesus is. Jesus is not okay for the individual who likes to be inside the flesh, the consciousness of the flesh, which is to serve fear, they're going to have a problem with Jesus. If they don't mind being misery, if they don't mind not having love flowing through them all the time or kindness flowing through them, they're going to have a problem with Jesus. If they don't mind toiling, or grinding for crumbs, which we call money, they're going to have a problem with Jesus. So when Jesus came, he brought the kingdom of heaven, which has nothing to do with anything that was just described. Jesus said, not Jesus said, but the way he, the example that he set for us was how to defeat the spirit of fear. Jesus is basically saying, if you're inside the spirit of fear, you're going to serve it, and all the the things that you see they're not really real because they have no truth to them. They're there just to deceive. So if we get a diagnosis, the diagnosis is not really real. It's not real. It's real to the person who believes it. Because if they believe it, that's their reality. Jesus saying, more than likely, the things that we are going to experience is not real. It's Satan sifting us as wheat. He's in our head to get us go down the road of fear. If we involve ourselves in fear so much, there will be so much pressure inside the soul, that the soul will be so consumed with fear, you have a mental breakdown, which means your soul is basically dead or is a zombie. It's comatose. And there, you're a servant to the enemy where he can, it's like Freddy Krueger. Like when you go to sleep, that's his domain. So Jesus is trying to wake us up from the reality of Satan's domain. Satan wants us to stay in fear because if we stay in fear, we are away from love. If you don't eat, sleep, drink, uh, clothe, bathe, love, if your thoughts is not on love, more than likely you're serving fear. And if you're inside that ramp, that reality, everything you're going to see, for me, listening to you, I would say to you, what are you talking about? Because what you see, I don't see. It's not a reality. But you would convince me that it is real because you're actually experiencing it. What you're actually experiencing is a web of lies. Is fear is the ultimate deception. It's not real. It's hard to say. It's hard to use Jesus as an example to a person who don't believe Jesus exists. That self same person don't believe love exists. But this self same person don't mind grinding for crumbs. let's say, for example, this person that doesn't believe in love, they don't believe in Jesus, but they work hard for to buy things. So they work hard to get money to buy things, right? They work hard for that, but it's crumbs. You're not making what the inventor is making, or the CEO is making, or though who is getting the highest pay of that profession, that field, that craft, or whatever that is placement of employment. You're not getting the most of it. You're getting the least of it. You're getting crumbs. And you would prefer to grind for that, even if you're doing it self employment. You grind for crumbs. But yet, you won't eat, sleep, drink, bathe, clothe yourself inside love. You don't allow your thoughts to be consumed by love. You don't meditate on things of love. So somebody say, what is love? Then how about this? Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is true. Love is honest. Love is pure. Love is beautiful. So these things that warrants like a praise or some kind of, you know, it wow. It's hard to explain the kingdom of God to a person who don't believe. So the example that Jesus would use is almost hard for us, like the parables that he would use, it's hard for us to grasp it because we don't believe. We just don't believe. And it's hard for him to introduce us to the kingdom or to save our soul from actually the tormentor if you don't believe in him. That he brought us away, an escape away from that. I'm I'm sitting here and I'm just, yeah, I just had like a huge breakthrough. Like, it's not real. The sizes, the shapes, time, the senses, all that, it's not real. What's real is the unseen. What we see in front of our eyes is not real. If you look in the mirror and you see eyes, lips, nose, eyelashes, eyebrows, hair, chin chin structures, chin bones or cheekbones, and you see this when you look in the mirror. And if you don't see past that to see what's your thoughts, what's going through your mind, if you don't, then you're stuck in a lie. Here's an assignment. How about this? Close your mouth and say your name. Did you hear it? That's who you are. You're a spirit. What you heard, did you see you physically? No, you didn't. If you were to say, what does that have to do with anything? It proves that the reality that we think is a reality or that is actually real or true is actually a lie. Looking in the mirror and seeing eyeballs and everything, this is this, it's not real. I mean, it's there. But if you can't see past that, you're stuck in a lie. Because you will see you will see sizes, shapes. You will see time. You will see. You can't see in the world that Jesus was trying to explain. It's past sight. There, everything that we see is based upon something we don't see. An example: if you're sitting in a, if no, if you have a couch, before that couch ever was in the, like if you have a couch in your living room, you know, before it got there, you had to see it. You know, you had to picture a couch in your living room, and so you went and got it and you put it there. If the doctors diagnose you with whatever, you have to picture what the doctor is saying. So this is why we will go into details of having a doctor to explain it. Because fears are, when we go to the doctor or go to the hospital or have any, we automatically in fear because of the fact where we're going. Is not going, we're not going to the jewelry store or the clothing store or a car dealership. We don't fear going to those unless we know we don't have what they're asking for. This is the same thing when we go to the doctor. When we go to the doctor, we're not going there for that their job is to tell me that I'm healthy. We're going to the doctor for them to tell us that something is wrong. Where we want to feel secure at is like, how do we fix it? The doctor can't give you that. The medicine can't give you that. That comes from you being able to see it and believe it. But the average soul is so covered in the lie, inside the fear, which is what Jesus has set us free from. But if the person can't believe in his way of being set free from it, the one the reality that you're in, you're going to serve it. You're going to serve the lie. You're going to serve fear. There's no way to get around it. Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And it's not to say that it's not he didn't want to, he's in no way promoting himself to be in competition with any other god. Another way, I mean, another way, in any way, he is not trying to promote himself to be applauded. You know, I did all this, I said all that. I want you to believe in me because I want to be, be exalted. That's that. And what? No, he did it because he loves us. Now this is the beginning of. Let me say, not the beginning. This is yeah. How about that? This is the beginning of the lie when it came to the human race. This is the beginning of the lie that you don't have to believe in God. I mean, that God has a son, and even with Adam, you don't have to believe what God is telling you. And even when it got to Noah, it got to Abraham, it got to Moses, and got all the way down to Jesus. And from Jesus to the church to us now. You don't have to believe in God, is what it constantly has been. You don't have to believe in God. To not believe in God is not to believe that one can love you. That this supreme being have no desire to love you, and whatever that he stands for is not about love. To not believe in Jesus is to say that the Father don't love us, which is to serve the spirit of fear. How can your soul defend against that? Or how can your soul make a distinction between what is real and what is fake when it's stuck inside of a lie? This is why the person panics and why they panic and full of anxiety or full of pressure, because they're stuck inside of a lie and they're confused of what is real and what's true. We want a clear, precise, like, direction. If it doesn't have you to sit inside of love, love will never pressure you. Love will never hurt you. Love will never abuse you. Love will never steal from you. Love will never kill you. Love will never destroy you. Love will never cause you to sweat, to work hard, to grind. You know, when God told Adam, the day that you take of this tree, you shall surely die, and you're gonna work the ground. After he did that, he said, Adam, you're gonna work the grounds all the days of your life. The purpose, all right, why God said that is, Adam, before he did what he did, he didn't have to do anything but walk in love. So everything came out of him was love, right? So he gave that up to a world of fear. He gave all that up in exchange to serve Satan, the world of fear. Now, why God said that he would surely die is that he's going to be surely separated. Adam is going to be separated. And if we are up under the same direction, or we doing the same thing that Adam did, then that means we're serving the same master that Adam did. Adam is, in the beginning, before the fall, he was serving God of love. But after that, after the God of love told him don't do this and he did it, he's no longer serving that God of love. He's serving the God of fear. And the God of fear is going to make you be in torment. There's no love there. So you're going to be in a web of lies. So God does this thing that Adam, you're going to till the ground. You're going to work until you walk away from that God. And from the point of that Adam fell, God has been trying and trying and trying to get reconnected to his people. He will use every different ethnic group. He will use every different group of people that will follow the pathway of love. He's looking for his people so that one seed can spread throughout. It was the same mission that he gave Adam. It's the same mission to this day. Now, Jesus, the Spirit of God, the Son of God, came down to be that. It's hard for us to really accept Jesus because Jesus is not physical. That means we're still believing in the lie. If we look in the mirror, like I said, and we need a physical example, or what we see is saying that's who we are. For you to say that you're your hair or your eyeballs or your nose structure is shortchanging yourself. You're not royalty. You're showing yourself to be a lie. But it's interesting because we're looking for a way out of the lie, but still at the same time trying to hold on to the lie because we're not sure if we let go, where will we go then? This is why the scripture says when Jesus returned, will he find faith? It's like it's such a matrix within this reality. Which is the real, which is real, which is not. Is always have been good versus evil, or always have been not. Well, since Satan did what he did in the very beginning, since he did what he did, and he did what he did before man was created, before God birthed us. God knew us, but before he put us in the earth, Satan did what he did. So that was from the very beginning. So God knew what he was going to, everything was set into motion. Everything that's happened or happening, God knew it. And everything was spoken. So nothing is not going according to God's understanding, or he didn't desire any of this, but he's completely aware of everything that's going on. Somebody said, well, he's God. Of course he does. It's not saying it like that. It's saying it from the perspective that he made a way out of it. That he didn't give up on us. At one point, he had the thought that he regret that he made man, because man don't want to be with him. Man would rather work hard. Like, this is Adam punishment. Adam punishment is to till the ground. Right? It's like a woman's punishment for what she did is to bear a child. You find me Mary had a child in a way I believe that women are supposed to have a child. I don't know if she went through the travail that she birthed it, and all that. I don't know if she went through the cycles, but I don't know. I don't know. But what I believe is that she set herself so apart from the lie, separated from the reality of being a part of the spirit of the world, which is the lie, which is the spirit serving the spirit of fear, that she found so much favor with God that she birthed the Son of God. But I don't believe that she went through what modern women go through when they're going through pregnancy and everything else. Because the average woman, no matter what ethnic group that they are, they're not separated from the spirit of the world. They're not separated from the tormentor. They're not separated for the cares of the world. They're involved with it. So it's kind of hard. No, actually, well, for me, it's believable, but it's kind of hard for a person who doesn't believe in Jesus to believe anything of the Bible, period. So even if they saw evidence that the Bible is true, they couldn't believe it because they have to get rid of everything that they're standing on to believe the Bible. Even though if the Bible is right there in front of their face, they see it not in the scripture, but it's coming to life in their reality where they can actually touch it. It's like Jesus came to them and showed them the scars that he was nailed to a cross. They still couldn't believe it. It will be physical proof, but they still couldn't believe it because they would have to give up the Lord that they're serving. They would have to give up Satan. Jesus is funny because Jesus is the offer that Jesus is offering us to show that he's real or not. He said, give up your loyalty to Satan and I'll show you that I'm real. Satan is saying, don't believe in that. Everything that you have been doing up to this point is real. So look what your life has been up to this point. You know, you work hard. You work hard. You see a lot of killing. You see a lot of what this is this. You work hard. You work hard. Tell me, give me some points or some examples of through your process of life that there was a season or there was a time frame that you was completely happy. I mean, joy. You had a peace of mind. You had love flowing through you, and love was coming towards you. Give me that. What I'm saying is, if you can give me that, you would give me the presence of God in your life. If you can't give me that, you're proving who you're serving. And if I can't convince you, nor can God convince you. That's just the whole leap of faith. What it's all about is Jesus saying, "I am the way to the kingdom of heaven, which is away from the tormentor." The tormentor is saying that Jesus is not real. Well, everything that you have been experiences is real. Everything that you have experienced is real. Jesus saying it's not. It's not real. It's all a plan in your mind. Somebody said, like, well, I experienced being carjacked, or I experienced these things. Like, no, you didn't. Like, yes, I did. Like, you don't have no proof that you did. I I was carjacked. I was molested. I took advantage of women. I was taken advantage by women. I had a stroke. Uh, Diabetic. I have all these different things, right? That we across the board we have heard before. We have seen people deal with them, and a person could say to me, "They are real," but I'm telling you, it's not real. I didn't have a stroke. I'm not diabetic. I didn't abuse women. Women didn't abuse me. I never was molested. I never was carjacked. None of those things actually happened. Now, a person said, like, you're delusional. I'm saying that it never existed because I got no proof that it actually existed. If you're going to hold on to it did, do you not deserve to suffer from what you still see or by what you still see? Don't you? Do you not deserve to suffer, to be tormented by it? I didn't let it go. I removed it that it ever existed. This is the pathway where Christ is saying it never existed. But if a person is going to try to convince themselves or convince me that it did, you enjoy being tormented. I don't. I enjoy liberation. I enjoy being free. So a person's like, well, you just delusional. You trying to pretend like it. Like, I'm not trying to do anything. It. How about this? If I were to tell you that if you go to your bank account and you got $1 million there, you would prove to me that it's not there, versus just receiving it. But in the same tone, in the same token, or in the same tone, you would go to the doctor's office and they said that you're diagnosed with this, and you go into panic and fear. But here I am saying that if you get rid of the tormentor, everything that you can hear that's considered bad is not real. This is the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is not what you physically can see. You have to let go of that world. This is why it's almost impossible for a rich person or a person who's attached to the cares of the world to inherit the kingdom of heaven. It's not because they're rich, it's because what their riches is connected to is going to keep them from the reality of the kingdom of heaven. It's two different dimensions. One is based upon you're toiling, you're tormented, you gotta grind, you gotta sweat, and the other one is saying none of that. No, you ain't gotta do none of that. It's to say our loved ones is right in front of us right now, like the ones that passed on. Like my mom passed, so she separated from the body, but spiritually she's right there. Somebody said, like, that's delusional talk. She's not right there. You talking about a ghost or a familiar spirit. Like, the only reason why you can't see them is because there is like a hedge that won't allow you to see them. This hedge is based upon your servanthood to the Lord you're serving. How would you expect someone who just stole from you, right? They just stolen from you, and you let them back in, and you know they're going to steal again. Why would you do it, and what would be your reason for doing it? So that's to say, how can you possibly? How is it possible for that thief not to be a thief when you know what they're going to do? So how can you possibly see in a world that's not a thief or that's not full of crime when you still have the mind of a thief? How can you? It's impossible to see a world that is free from everything that your mind is not free of. When they left the body, if they're in Christ and all that good stuff, they believe. I mean, Christ, man, is so. When you get Jesus, you get it all. I mean, you get it all. So, if you're inside Christ, you're no longer a part of the thief. The thief is keeping us away. No, how about this? The thief is making us be something that we're too good to be.